Hey boos, in this video I give commentary based on my opinion. Nothing is to be taken as factual. We are just here to have conversation. We don't expose and we don't sip tea on this channel. I'm giving you real talk straight, no chaser. Let's see if you can handle it.
Cause I'm a boss.
Oh, hell no.
We've been engaged for 150 years.
But Chrissy, you have to, because that's how family actually gets to.
Listen to me. I don't have to. He
Chrissy.
has to. That's your son.
No,
he has to. I don't
you have to remember.
This
Once
is a
once you and him get married, and really, as far as I'm concerned, y'all are married, okay? And if you're part of him, okay, and that means he's definitely me, that means that you're part of me.
I moved to Miami because between the two of you, I was worn out. Honestly. As long as I was standing in that house and he was coming in 6 and 7 in the morning, talk about this record, that record, and they ain't had a record out in years. What are you working on?
Chrissy!
Who's talking to you like that?
I'm talking to you.
Stop pointing at me,
I'm
Chrissy,
talking,
for
that's
real.
who I was talking to. I'm talking to you. Because
Right.
guess what? We lived in the same house.
You did the biggest part, and the biggest part was when you ran to Miami, and I've got behind that. That's selfish.
And how have I been selfish and I had done nothing but give since the moment
I don't give a about the giving. I'm
what
talking
makes
about how
you
you was being.
Hi guys, it's Yandy and I'm back with another video. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about Chrissy Lampkin and how she recently made an appearance on The Real, stating that she was making a comeback on the hit reality show Love and Hip Hop New York. So in today's video, I wanted to talk about some of the things that the ladies on The Real were discussing with her, and the number one thing that people were shocked by was the fact that she made the statement that her and Jim no longer prioritize marriage within their relationship.
Now, you still haven't tied the knot, so we want to know, like, do you plan on walking down the aisle? What's the dealio?
To be honest with you, it's not a priority anymore.
Okay. Okay.
Our relationship is in a good place.
And this was a shock for many because within the time that she hasn't been on Love and Hip Hop for the last 7 years, she's been on shows like Marriage Boot Camp, Chrissy and Mr. Jones, and she also did a show with Vow or Never. I believe that was the show. And so she's been on all of these shows that really push this message to us, you know, people who watch, that she wanted to marry Jim and she wanted Jim to marry her. So it really threw people for a loop, because it's like, okay, for the last 7 years that you've done reality TV, and even beyond that, you have stated on several occasions that you wanted to marry, and now all of a sudden 15 years later, being with this man Jim, you're saying that marriage is no longer a priority. And it really sucks to see this, because she wanted to get married, and I don't know what happened in between from then to now that has caused her to believe that marriage is no longer a priority for her. I think it has a lot to do with her relationship with Jim Jones. He's not making it a priority, and so now he has either manipulated her into believing that that's not a priority for her either, or he has convinced her that that is not a priority for her as well. So we see this a lot. And I see this a lot when it comes to this new generation of women. They really have this rhetoric now, and I'm not sure where they're getting it from, that marriage is just a piece of paper. And for a woman, marriage isn't just a piece of paper for a woman. And I do understand that marriage is not for everyone, but this is a woman that made it seem like marriage was everything to her. It was a dream for her. She even stated that during her proposal, when she proposed to Jim Jones like 7 years ago. So it's just really a shock for everyone. But let's go ahead and flash back to when she proposed to Jim Jones on VH1, the show Love and Hip Hop.
It's taken me a long time to figure out exactly what I wanted to do with my life. And I figured it out. I want to spend it with you. Will you marry me? I can't see myself with anybody else.
I'm with you.
But he didn't quite say yes. He was like, I'm with you. What is I'm with you? What does that mean? For little girls to grow up and, be asked to, for a man to propose to them. Yeah, it's a fantasy, but how many people you know are really living a fantasy? Hello? You keep waiting. Go ahead. Y'all keep waiting. I'm going to get what I want.
This is a great example of you cannot force a man to do anything that he does not want to do. You cannot convince him to do anything that you want him to do or that you think he should do. If he doesn't make that decision for himself, he is not going to do it. So as a woman, if you feel that that is something that you cannot compromise on, it's something that you're not willing to compromise on, then you need to walk away, because you cannot change a man's mind. And men are so direct and so straightforward. And if they say it and they are so direct with you with the conversation, take it for what it is and not for what you think it could be, not form this idea. If he said that I'm with you, because that was his response, Jim responded, I'm with you. That's exactly what he meant. He said, I'm with you. He didn't say, I want to marry you. One day we're going to get married. He just said, I'm with you. And that's enough for him. That was enough for him. Marriage wasn't something that he was even thinking about, because he said, I'm with you. And that is just that. Men are really that simple. So a lot of times us women, we like to overcomplicate, but a lot of times a man will tell you exactly how they feel about you if you would just listen and stop racing with your mind and thinking of these ideas and actually listen to what they're saying. And Jim, he said, I'm with you. And that was that. And this is why their relationship hasn't moved forward to any type of higher commitment level that she wanted, because clearly she wanted to get married and that wasn't something that he wanted. And I think he was very clear on that. But again, sometimes us women, we get this crazy idea that we can change a man, and the truth is we can't.
Part of me was like, that's right, ask him. You know he ain't gonna say no. And another part is going, well, he hasn't asked you, and maybe because he's not ready.
You want the price, huh?
Yeah, price would be nice.
Okay, for this job, it'll probably run you about like $12,000.
That's gonna clean out my cookie jar, but
Sorry.
he's worth it. I'm not saying, I got a load of money saved, but I got a couple of dollars, and you go into it for something you believe in.
Right, you need a ring too. You got
Yeah.
one. You want me to show you some rings?
You're in trouble, but of course.
Yeah. Gabe.
Yes, I'm a hood baby. That doesn't mean that I can't like nice things. I deserve them, and I shall have them.
So if you guys remember back on, I think it was the show Chrissy and Mr. Jones. I think it was that show where Chrissy ran off to Miami and left Jim Jones. And he came chasing after her. Now, I don't know if it was for the show and they made it all about the show and that's why she left him. But I just remember when she left, he came chasing after her and he proposed then. So, but if you watch the proposal, which I tried to look for the video, you guys, but I could not find it. If you watch the show, he proposed to her, but it didn't feel like he really wanted to. I think he did it out of fear that she actually left, and this was probably like the first time that she actually left, and so he chased after her out of fear. And if anyone doesn't know the background of Jim Jones, his mom was a crack addict and she basically abandoned him. And if you watch Marriage Boot Camp, part of his childhood was chasing after his mom and going looking for her. He would go to these crack houses looking for her.
You don't know what it is for a kid to be at my age to chase my mother all through the streets at the age of 8, 9, and 10, chasing them to crack spots.
When Chrissy left, his trauma kicked in of women abandoning him. starting with his mom. And so he chased after her like a little boy, proposing, but not really wanting to do so, but did it because out of fear. And that's my theory when it comes to that whole situation that happened that played out on TV. Again, I'm not sure if it was really for the show or if she really left him, but that's what I got from that. Now when I look back on the entire situation, he chased after her out of fear, but not because he wanted to step up and be a man and commit to her the way that she wanted him to. And we see this a lot with men and relationships sometimes, and not all men, but you know, those immature ones, the ones that haven't grown up, they haven't became a man, the dusties, the ones that I like to talk about on this channel. We're not speaking on the men, we're speaking on the ones that are immature, the dusty ones. They do things out of fear, but I always tell women that when you walk away, that's the best thing that you can ever do for yourself for so many different reasons, because you can get back to focusing on yourself, getting realigned with yourself spiritually. Also, you could meet someone new, or a man can chase after you. The man that you want can chase after you, and maybe he will be changed, but that's for you to make a decision over time, you know, watching his actions to see if he actually made changes for you. But there are so many benefits to walking away, and I feel that more women need to learn the art of walking away when a man is no longer serving you the way that you feel that he needs to meet your needs. So let's go ahead and tune in to what Chrissy had to say on The Real, coming back to current day, modern day, what's going on now with her and Jim Jones.
Well, we saw you propose to your longtime boyfriend, rapper Jim Jones, who was on the show.
Yep.
Now, you still haven't tied the knot, so we want to know, like, do you plan on walking down the aisle? What's the dealio?
To be honest with you, it's not a priority anymore.
Okay. Okay.
Our relationship is in a good place.
Oh.
And
Yeah, I get it. Like,
no,
the
seriously,
commitment is there.
I thought that was like the natural progression.
Yeah.
But it's not for everybody.
Okay.
So we're good right now.
Nice. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Y'all still asking me about Chrissy and Jim? I haven't spoken to Jim and Chrissy, but will Jissy ever walk down the aisle? I don't know. I'm keeping hope alive for them.
So I wanted to put that Yandy clip in there because I came across that clip and it was very disturbing. And I've stated this so many times on my channel that you never kick another woman while she's down. You never throw stones because those stones could be thrown back at you. You never throw another woman under the bus because you may be thrown under the bus next. And this is Yandy. She is currently not legally married, but pretending to be married. And she's not married, but she wants to throw stones at Chrissy. And I constantly tell women to stop doing that because you are just creating more negativity, and it's going to bleed into your own personal life and situation. And you just don't want that. So you may not like a person, but you don't have to taunt them. You don't have to do all of these petty things, spiteful things. Like, just carry on and mind your business and make sure that your house is in order. But to throw stones, those stones could very well be thrown back at you. And that's exactly what happened to Yandy. And that's another example of why I'm always telling women never to throw stones and never to kick another woman while she's down, because you may be that woman. You may end up being that woman. And when it comes to Chrissy, if she is happy with her situation currently, then we should all wish her the best and not really speak down on her situation and say, oh, he's never going to marry her, blah, blah, blah. If she wants to stick around, that is her choice. That is her life. And that is what she's choosing to do. I wanted to use her situation as an example that, you know, never allow a man to change your wants, because that makes the woman that you are. You know, he was attracted to her for her wants, you know, her needs. He was attracted to her for that, you know, and if he couldn't accept all of her, then he didn't need to accept her at all. And I just felt like Chrissy should have walked away. That's my opinion, but it's not my life to live. And I wanted to use her situation as an example that if you are in a situation and this man is no longer serving you, it is okay to walk away. And this is why I want to see more Black women date, like to date around. That is what you're supposed to do. Sometimes we meet men for an experience, and maybe God placed them in our life to teach us a lesson. And then after the lesson is over with, we collect our things and we walk away and we move on to the next. Sometimes it's not meant for us to stay down and be a ride or die. sometimes it's just meant for us to collect the experience and move on, because it's preparing us for what God really had in store for us. But if we stay and we linger after the lesson is over with, then we're going to find ourselves in these situations where they're complacent, they're stagnant, they're not moving forward. And I think that's the issue with Chrissy, is that she's with Jim and his career is stagnant, their relationship is stagnant, and she just feels stuck. You know, and that was the opening intro to this video. She just came across like she's not happy and she just feels stuck. So that's why she ran off to Miami originally. One last thing that I want to add, she talked about how she's never been selfish a day since she has met Jim and his mom. And, you know, that's really sad to hear, because being a woman, it is okay to choose yourself. You are not a bad person. You are not selfish. And in most cases, we get to a point where we have given so much that we become resentful and we become angry because we weren't selfish. And you don't want to get to a space in your life where you are resentful because you weren't selfish. You are bitter because you didn't choose yourself. It is okay to choose yourself. And in some cases, men, they don't understand how selfish they can be. Jim is so selfish. Like, he couldn't do one thing for her, but he expects for her to be down and to stay and remain this ride or die. But he couldn't give her the one thing that she wanted. That's how selfish some men can be. The immature ones, the dusty ones. They can be so selfish sometimes. So that's all that I have regarding this video, you guys. And if you're in a situation where you're afraid to choose yourself, I'm here to tell you that it's okay to choose yourself. It's okay to put yourself first, especially when it comes to your health and just where you are. If you're unhappy, it is okay to choose yourself. So that's all that I have, you guys. And if you haven't, please subscribe to my channel. Hit that notification bell so that you're notified for when I upload, and I'll catch you in my next one.